In a world that never slows down, where noise, anger, and chaos dominate every corner, the one who remains calm holds true power. Every day, people try to steal your peace. Deadlines, arguments, politics, pressure, disappointment. But remember, peace is not the absence of chaos. It's the ability to stay centered within it. The world will test you, provoke you, and sometimes break you. But if you master the art of staying calm when everything around you falls apart, you become unstoppable. This is not a book about silence. It's a book about strength, the quiet kind that doesn't shout, but transforms everything it touches. Welcome to Unshakeable Peace, a journey to mastering your emotions, reclaiming your energy, and becoming the calm within the storm. Chapter 1. The Storm Within: Understanding Why We Lose Peace. 2. Triggers and Tempests: How the World Trains You to React. 3. The Calm Mindset: Reprogramming Your Inner Dialogue. 4. Emotional Mastery: Respond, don't react. 5. The Power of Pause: Controlling the Gap Between Thought and Action. 6. Letting Go of Control: Finding Freedom in Surrender. 7. The Calm Routine: Daily Habits for Inner Stillness. 8. Dealing with Negative People and Toxic Environments. 9. Faith, Focus, and Flow: The Spiritual Side of Peace. 10. Becoming the Eye of the Storm: Living Unshakable Peace Every Day. Chapter 1. The Storm Within: Understanding Why We Lose Peace. There's a storm inside every one of us. You can't see it, but you can feel it. The racing thoughts, the tension in your chest, the silent war between who you are and who you're forced to be. Every day we walk through chaos, deadlines, disappointment, arguments, expectations, and yet, the loudest noise is often not around us. It's within us. The truth is simple. Peace isn't lost because the world is noisy. Peace is lost because we allow the noise to enter our hearts. We live in a world that rewards reaction. The faster you respond, the louder you shout, the more attention you get. People mistake anger for strength and calmness for weakness. But let me tell you something. It takes far greater power to stay calm when everything inside you screams to explode. Think about it. Every time someone insults you, pressures you, or disagrees with you, something happens inside. Your heart rate rises. Your mind starts building a defense. Words form before you even think. You feel the heat of reaction building up, and in that moment you lose control. That's the storm. It's not outside, it's within. The illusion of control. We often believe that if the world were quieter, kinder, or fairer, we would finally find peace. But that's an illusion. You can't control the world. You can't control people's opinions, their words, or their behavior. You can't even control what tomorrow brings. The only thing truly under your control is your response. Peace doesn't come from changing your circumstances. It comes from mastering your emotions. When you stop trying to control everything around you and start controlling your reactions, you begin to take your power back. That's when the storm starts to calm. The root of inner turmoil. The storm within us grows from 3 silent seeds: fear, expectation, and attachment. Fear of losing something we love. Expectation that life must go exactly how we planned. Attachment to how things should be. When any of these are threatened, our peace shatters. Someone says something rude. Your fear of disrespect kicks in. Plans fail, your expectation breaks. Someone leaves, your attachment screams. The result? Emotional chaos. But what if peace wasn't about eliminating these things, but understanding them? What if peace begins the moment you stop resisting what is and start accepting what's real? Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means acknowledging the truth without letting it destroy your inner balance. The power of awareness. You can't fix what you don't see. The first step to peace is awareness, becoming conscious of your own reactions. Next time you feel anger rising, don't rush to fight it. Just observe it. Breathe. Say to yourself, "This is the storm, but I am not the storm. You are the sky, not the weather passing through it." When you see yourself as separate from your emotions, you gain power over them. Anger may visit, but it won't control you. Stress may knock, but it won't enter your home without permission. This awareness is the seed of inner calm. The moment you start noticing your emotional triggers, you begin to weaken their control. You shift from being a victim of your mind to the master of your peace. The world wants you angry. Look around, the world is designed to provoke you. Social media thrives on outrage. News channels sell fear. People compete for validation and attention. The more emotional you get, the easier it is to manipulate you. So when you choose calm, truly choose it, you're rebelling against a system that profits from your chaos. Staying calm is not passive. It's powerful. It's rebellion in its purest form. When you stop reacting, you stop feeding the fire. You rise above the noise. And in that silence, you find strength that few ever discover. The calm warrior. A calm person is not someone who avoids the storm. It's someone who walks through it without losing their center. They are warriors of peace, not with weapons but with wisdom. They understand that life will always bring pressure, pain, and uncertainty. But they no longer depend on the world to be peaceful. They become the source of peace. So the next time chaos hits, don't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Instead, ask, "What is this teaching me about myself?" Every storm is a lesson. Every challenge is a mirror showing you where you still need to grow. And once you learn to calm the storm within, no chaos outside can touch you. That's when you become truly unshakable. Chapter 2. Triggers and Tempests, How the World Trains You to React. Have you ever wondered why it's so easy to lose your calm? Why one comment, one insult, one disappointing moment can turn peace into anger within seconds? It's not because you're weak. It's because from the moment you were born, the world has been training you not to stay calm, but to react. The reflex of reaction. We are taught early on that reaction equals strength. A child who talks back is called confident. An adult who argues loudly is called powerful. Society glorifies those who win battles, not those who walk away from them. But the truth is, the ability to pause before you respond is one of the greatest signs of inner mastery. The person who cannot control their reaction is always being controlled. By others, by circumstances, by emotion. Every trigger is like a test. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Someone spreads a rumor. Someone questions your worth. And in that instant, the world is asking, "Will you give me your peace?" And most of us do. We hand it over without even realizing it. The world's game. The world knows exactly how to make you react. Advertisements trigger your insecurities. News headlines trigger your fear. Social media triggers your need for validation. Every notification, every post, every debate is designed to spark emotion, because emotion drives attention, and attention drives control. The more you react, the more predictable you become. The more predictable you are, the easier it is to manipulate you. But when you stop reacting, when you start observing instead of absorbing, the world loses its power over you. That's when you become free. The hidden cost of reaction. Every time you react impulsively, you spend energy. Emotional energy, mental energy, spiritual energy. Think about the last time you got angry. How long did it take you to cool down? Hours? Maybe the entire day? That's the cost of reaction. It drains your focus, steals your time, and clouds your clarity. The saddest part is that most of what triggers us doesn't even matter a week later. But in the moment, we treat it as life or death. We argue, defend, and explode, only to realize later that it wasn't worth the peace we lost. True wisdom is not in fighting every battle. It's in choosing which battles deserve your energy. Learning the art of response. Reaction is instinctive. Response is intentional. When you react, you're being driven by emotion. When you respond, you're being guided by awareness. The difference between the two is just a few seconds, a pause, a single deep breath. That's all it takes to move from chaos to clarity. In that pause, you reclaim control. You stop being the puppet and become the master. That pause is your power. Next time something triggers you, don't rush to reply or defend yourself. Instead, ask, is this worth my energy? Will this matter tomorrow? What response keeps me in peace? Those questions will change your entire emotional life. The mirror of triggers. Your triggers are not your enemies. They're mirrors showing you where you still have healing to do. If someone's words can control your mood, they control your peace. But if you use that discomfort to understand yourself, every trigger becomes a teacher. When someone offends you, maybe it's not about them. Maybe it's revealing an insecurity inside you that still needs compassion. When someone ignores you, maybe it's not rejection. Maybe it's a reminder that your worth doesn't depend on anyone's attention. See, the goal isn't to eliminate triggers. You can't. The world will never stop being noisy or unpredictable. The goal is to become so grounded that nothing outside you can shake what's inside you. The strength of stillness. Calmness doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you feel deeply, but you don't drown in your feelings. It means you have trained yourself to stay centered even when provoked, to be aware without being reactive, to stay compassionate without being weak. The strongest people are not those who shout the loudest. They're the ones who can stand in the middle of chaos and remain still. Stillness is strength. And in that stillness, your power grows. The reprogramming. If you've been reacting your entire life, don't blame yourself. You were trained to do it. But you can untrain yourself too. Start with mindfulness. Notice when you feel tension building. Notice the heat, the rush, the impulse to speak or act. Then pause. Breathe. Step back. Every time you do this, you're rewiring your mind to respond with wisdom instead of impulse. Slowly, the storm will lose its power. You'll start recognizing the difference between a reaction that steals your peace and a response that strengthens it. And one day, you'll find yourself in the middle of a situation that used to trigger you. But this time, you'll smile. You'll stay calm. You'll realize, I don't have to give my energy away anymore. That moment is freedom. That's what peace truly feels like. Unshakable peace. Chapter 3. The calm mindset, reprogramming your inner dialogue. Peace isn't something you find, it's something you build, thought by thought, word by word, belief by belief. Most people think their stress comes from the outside world, from problems, people, and pressure. But in truth, the greatest source of stress is the voice inside your own head. That voice that says, I can't handle this. That whispers, what if I fail? That screams, they're against me. You see, chaos outside doesn't destroy peace. It's the chaos inside that does. And the only way to master that chaos is to reprogram the way you think, to build a calm mindset that no storm can shake. The voice within. Every day, your mind speaks thousands of thoughts. Some lift you, some break you, and most of them you didn't even choose. They were programmed into you by experience, pain, and repetition. When you were a child, you were told how to think, what to fear, what success means, and what failure feels like. Over time, those words became your inner dialogue, an echo that plays on repeat, guiding your emotions and reactions. If your mind has been repeating negativity, self-doubt, and fear for years, then chaos will always feel natural. Calm will feel strange, but that can change. Because the mind is not a fixed machine. It's a living system that can be rewired through awareness and practice. The power of thought. Every thought is a seed. Whatever you plant in your mind grows in your life. If you plant worry, you harvest anxiety. If you plant gratitude, you harvest peace. If you plant anger, you harvest chaos. And if you plant calmness, you harvest power. Your thoughts shape your emotional weather. When your inner voice is harsh, your heart feels heavy. But when your inner voice becomes kind, calm, and focused, your soul starts to breathe again. So, the first step to peace is not silence, it's conscious speech. How you talk to yourself determines how you feel about the world. Start noticing your mental language. Do you say, "I'm always stressed"? Or "I'm learning to stay calm"? Do you think, "People make me angry"? Or "I choose my reaction"? Your language is programming. Change your words and you'll change your world. Training the calm mind. You don't get a calm mind by accident. You build it like a muscle. Every time you catch yourself spiraling into negative thoughts and gently shift toward calm, you're training that muscle. Every time you choose gratitude over frustration, understanding over judgment, patience over reaction, you're rewiring your brain for peace. Start small. When someone annoys you, whisper silently, "I choose calm." When stress rises, breathe deeply and say, "This moment will pass." When you're overwhelmed, tell yourself, "I can handle this with peace." At first, it feels unnatural, like lifting weights you've never touched before. But with time, your calm becomes stronger than your chaos. That's the power of reprogramming. The enemy within. Your biggest battle isn't with people. It's with your own negative patterns. There's a voice inside that loves drama. It feeds on worry, comparison, and fear. It says, "If I don't control everything, everything will fall apart." That voice isn't you, it's your programming. It's the collection of old fears pretending to be your identity. To find peace, you must start separating your true self from your thought self. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness that hears them. Once you understand that, you stop believing every fearful story your mind tells. You realize, my thoughts are like clouds, they pass. I am the sky beneath them. That realization alone can change your life. Shifting the inner dialogue. Reprogramming your mind doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect. It means speaking to yourself with truth and compassion. Instead of saying, "I'm failing," say, "I'm learning." "I can't handle this," say, "I'm getting stronger." "This is too much," say, "I'll take it one step at a time." These shifts may seem small, but they create massive emotional change. The tone you use with yourself becomes the tone of your life. Would you speak harshly to a loved one who's hurting? Then why speak that way to yourself? You deserve gentleness, not just from others, but from your own thoughts. The calm mindset in action. A calm mindset doesn't mean nothing bothers you. It means everything that bothers you becomes an opportunity to return to peace faster. You'll still feel angry, stressed, or scared at times, but instead of drowning in those feelings, you'll surf over them. You'll notice them, name them, and release them. Imagine driving through a storm. You don't stop the car and panic. You turn on your headlights, slow down, and keep moving. That's what a calm mindset does. It keeps you steady until the storm passes. And it always passes. Becoming the master of your mind. When you control your inner dialogue, you become unstoppable. No insult can break you. No failure can define you. No chaos can unround you. Because peace is not a place you go. It's a mindset you carry. You start to understand that life doesn't need to be calm for you to be calm. You bring the calm. You create it. You embody it. The world might still be loud, but your mind becomes silent. The world might still push, but you no longer fall. And in that silence, in that stillness, you discover your truest strength, the strength of a calm heart and a reprogrammed mind. That's the birth of Unshakeable Peace. Chapter 4. Emotional Mastery. Respond. Don't react. There's a difference between emotion and reaction. Emotion is what you feel. Reaction is what you do with that feeling. And while you can't always control your emotions, you can always control your reactions. And that control is what separates chaos from peace, weakness from wisdom, and noise from power. Mastering your emotions doesn't mean you stop feeling. It means you feel everything, yet you choose how to respond with clarity instead of impulse. That's emotional mastery, the art of responding, not reacting. The trap of reaction. Most people live like emotional puppets. Someone pulls a string and they dance. Someone insults them, they get angry. Someone ignores them, they feel worthless. Someone praises them, they feel good again. Their peace depends on the world's behavior. And that's a dangerous way to live. Because as long as your mood is controlled by others, you'll never be free. Reaction is slavery. Response is freedom. When you react, you give away your power. You say, "You control how I feel." But when you respond, you say, "I control how I show up." That's real strength, not in shouting back, not in proving your point, but in maintaining peace when others try to pull you into their storm. The pause that changes everything. Between stimulus and response, there's a small space, a pause. And inside that pause lies your power. When something triggers you, emotion rises fast. It wants to take the wheel. But if you can catch that split second before you react, you gain control. You move from being driven by feeling to guided by awareness. Try it. The next time anger hits, take one slow breath. The next time fear comes, notice it without judgment. The next time someone's words sting, wait before replying. In that small pause, your higher self has room to speak. That's where maturity, peace, and strength are born. It may sound simple, but this is the foundation of emotional mastery. That one breath is what transforms chaos into calm. Feel it, don't feed it. You can't suppress emotions. That only makes them louder. But you can feel them without feeding them. When anger rises, feel it in your body. Notice the heat, the tightness, the heartbeat. Observe it like a wave coming and going. Don't resist it. Don't act on it. Just watch it. The more you observe, the faster it passes. The less you identify with it, the weaker it becomes. People who lose control are not those who feel too much. They're the ones who never learned how to feel without reacting. Emotional mastery is not coldness, it's emotional intelligence. It's knowing that you are not your feelings, you are the one experiencing them. The energy shift. Every emotion carries energy. Anger is fire. Fear is wind. Sadness is water. Joy is light. If you can't control these energies, they burn you out. But if you can channel them, they fuel your purpose. When you feel angry, instead of shouting, channel that energy into action. Fix what you can, change what you must. When you feel fear, use that energy to prepare, to sharpen your focus, to grow your courage. When you feel sadness, use it to deepen your empathy, to connect with others who are hurting. You can't stop waves from coming, but you can learn how to surf them. That's the essence of emotional mastery, using emotion as power, not poison. Responding from strength, When you react, you act from weakness. When you respond, you act from strength. Reaction comes from the ego. It wants to protect itself, to win, to prove. Response comes from the soul. It wants to understand, to grow, to bring peace. Every time you choose to respond instead of react, you raise your vibration. You shift from being a victim of circumstances to being a creator of calm. Next time someone tests your patience, remind yourself, their chaos doesn't deserve my peace. You're not responsible for what they do, you're responsible for how you respond. That's power. That's leadership. That's peace. Emotional intelligence in action. Emotionally intelligent people don't avoid emotions, they manage them wisely. They know that anger is natural, but destruction is a choice. They know that disappointment hurts, but bitterness is optional. They know that peace isn't found, it's practiced. When life pushes them, they bend but don't break. They use calmness as a weapon, not to harm, but to heal. They walk away when arguments lead nowhere. They forgive when resentment poisons the heart. They breathe when the world shouts. And in that stillness, they win battles no one else even sees. The mastery mindset. True mastery begins with one realization. You don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. Sometimes silence is the best response. Sometimes patience is the loudest strength. Sometimes peace is the greatest victory. Emotional mastery is not about becoming emotionless. It's about becoming emotionally wise. It's about knowing when to speak and when to stay quiet, when to fight and when to let go, when to act and when to simply breathe. Each time you choose peace over reaction, you rewire your mind. Each time you respond with grace, you teach your emotions who's in charge. And slowly, the storms that used to shake you will no longer touch you. You'll walk through fire and stay cool. You'll face conflict and remain centered. You'll live in chaos but feel completely calm. That's when you'll realize peace was never something to find. It was something to become. Chapter 5. The Power of Pause, Controlling the Gap Between Thought and Action. There's a moment, a tiny, invisible moment between what happens to you and how you respond. Most people never notice it. They move too fast. Something triggers them and they explode. A thought appears and they act without thinking. But those who master that moment, that sacred space between thought and action, master their entire life. That moment is called the pause. And inside that pause lies your freedom, your clarity, and your peace. The split second that changes everything. Every reaction begins as a thought. Someone says something rude, your mind interprets it, your body prepares for defense, words rush to your mouth. All of that happens in seconds. But if you can stretch that tiny gap, if you can pause even for a breath, you interrupt the automatic pattern. You break the chain reaction that leads from thought to chaos. It's in that pause that wisdom speaks. It's in that pause that calm wins. And it's in that pause that you stop being controlled by emotion and start being guided by awareness. Why we lose the pause. We live in a world that rewards speed, not reflection. Quick replies.
Instant réaction.
Immediate results. We scroll, we click, we respond without thinking. Our nervous system has been trained for reactivity, not reflection. That's why when something happens, a text, a comment, a conflict, we rush to respond before our mind has even processed what's true. We've forgotten that wisdom doesn't speak first. It speaks after the pause. The pause gives your heart a chance to catch up with your mind. It gives your soul time to breathe before your tongue decides. The science of stillness. When you pause, something powerful happens inside your brain. Your emotional center, the amygdala, wants to fire up instantly. It's designed to protect you, to fight or flee. But when you take a slow, conscious breath before reacting, you activate the prefrontal cortex, the logical, rational part of your brain. That's where wisdom lives. That's where peace begins. So the pause isn't just spiritual, it's biological. It literally gives your brain time to shift from impulse to intelligence. That's why people who pause before reacting often make better decisions, avoid unnecessary conflict, and recover from stress faster. They're not slower, they're smarter. The power of breath. The simplest way to access the pause is through your breath. Before you respond, breathe. Before you decide, breathe. Before you act, breathe. It sounds too easy to matter, but your breath is the bridge between chaos and calm. When you take one deep, conscious breath, you tell your body, I'm safe. I'm in control. And that one message changes everything. Try this. Next time you feel anger rising, don't speak for 3 seconds. Inhale deeply. Exhale slowly. You'll notice something magical. The emotion starts to lose its grip. The storm weakens. That's the pause in action. The more you practice it, the more automatic it becomes. Soon, your first instinct won't be to react, it will be to breathe. And that's when life starts to shift. The wisdom of delay. The pause isn't about hesitation. It's about intention. When something triggers you, waiting a few seconds or even a few hours can save relationships, reputations, and peace of mind. Many battles are won simply by not responding right away. You don't owe anyone your instant reaction. You owe yourself your inner peace. A calm response after reflection is always more powerful than a loud reaction made in emotion. Remember this, impulsive words can't be taken back, but a wise silence never needs to be apologized for. Finding power in stillness. The pause is not weakness, it's mastery. It's the mark of someone who owns themselves completely. Think of a great leader, a wise teacher, or a peaceful monk. They don't rush. They don't panic. They don't let the world's speed decide their rhythm. They move with intention, not impulse. They understand that time is an ally, not an enemy. When you pause, you stand outside of the chaos. You rise above it. While others react blindly, you respond consciously. While others argue, you listen. While others rush, you remain centered. That's power. Not loud, aggressive power, but silent, unshakable power. Turning the pause into a habit. Like any skill, the pause must be practiced until it becomes natural. Start small. When your phone buzzes, wait 3 seconds before checking it. When you get criticized, count to 5 before replying. When frustration hits, take 1 deep breath before acting. Each pause is a tiny victory. Each moment of control strengthens your mind. And each time you choose patience over impulse, you build a deeper foundation of peace. Over time, you'll realize something beautiful. The world didn't change, but your relationship with it did. You no longer feel dragged by emotions. You steer them. You choose your direction. The gift of the pause. The pause gives you choices. Without it, you only have reaction. With it, you gain awareness, clarity, and freedom. In that still space, you can ask, is this response true to who I want to be? Will this bring peace or more pain? What would my calmest self do right now? Those questions turn emotion into wisdom. You start living life consciously, not as a victim of every thought, but as the creator of every response. That's emotional maturity. That's spiritual growth. That's real peace. Living the power of pause. When you master the pause, you no longer live in reaction mode. You live in creation mode. The world slows down. You start hearing your intuition again. You stop fighting for control because you finally realize you already have it. So the next time life tests you, when someone provokes you, when something breaks your plan, when your mind races to react, remember this truth. The most powerful person in the room is the one who can pause. Because in that pause, they don't just control their words, they control their world. That's the power of pause. That's the essence of peace. That's what makes you unshakable. Chapter 6. Letting go of control, finding freedom in surrender. We spend most of our lives trying to control everything. People, plans, outcomes, timing. We want life to follow our script, and when it doesn't, we feel anxious, angry, or afraid. We fight, we push, we resist, and in doing so, we lose the very thing we're chasing: peace. But here's the paradox: the more you try to control life, the more life controls you. And the moment you learn to let go, you discover a quiet, powerful truth. Peace begins where control ends. The illusion of control. Control feels safe. It gives us the illusion that if we plan hard enough, nothing will go wrong. But life doesn't follow our blueprints. People change, plans fail, and circumstances shift without warning. The truth is, you never really had control, only expectations. And when those expectations break, pain enters. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means understanding that you can't control the wind, but you can adjust your sails. It's not about weakness. It's about wisdom. The wisdom to know what's yours to manage and what's not. When you stop forcing outcomes, you start flowing with life instead of fighting against it. And in that flow, peace naturally appears. Why we hold on? We hold on because we're afraid. Afraid that if we don't control everything, everything will fall apart. Afraid that people will leave, that opportunities will vanish, that we'll lose what we love. But the truth is, what's meant for you will never need to be forced. And what constantly needs to be forced was never truly meant for you. The need to control is born from fear, fear of loss, fear of change, fear of uncertainty. But peace is born from trust. Trust that life has a rhythm, even when you can't hear it. When you replace fear with trust, control becomes unnecessary. The weight of resistance. Have you ever tried holding a rope in a tug of war? The harder you pull, the more it burns your hands. That's what resistance feels like. We suffer not because of what happens, but because we resist what happens. Life says change, and we say no. Life says let go, and we cling tighter. Life says move forward, and we look back. Every no you give to life adds tension to your soul. But every time you surrender and say yes, you release the burden. Surrender doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop carrying what isn't yours anymore. The art of surrender. Surrender is not giving up. It's giving over. Giving your worries over to faith. Giving your need for control over to trust. Giving your fears over to peace. When you surrender, you don't lose power, you regain it. Because instead of wasting energy fighting what you can't change, you focus that energy on what you can. You can't control others' actions, but you can control your reaction. You can't control the timing of everything, but you can control your patience. You can't control outcomes, but you can control your effort and your peace of mind. That's surrender in action. Calm effort without obsession over results. Flow, don't force. Look at a river. It doesn't fight its path. It flows, bends, and finds its way around rocks and roots. It doesn't demand the mountain move. It simply moves around it. That's the power of flow. And you have the same ability. When you stop forcing outcomes, you open yourself to better ones. When you stop chasing what's leaving, you make space for what's coming. When you stop worrying about how and when, you begin to see the magic of timing unfold on its own. Life flows best when you stop trying to push it. Control versus responsibility. Letting go of control doesn't mean letting go of responsibility. It means knowing the difference. Responsibility is doing your best with what you can. Control is trying to do everyone's best for them. You're responsible for your attitude, your actions, your boundaries, not for how others receive them. You can plant the seed, but you can't force the flower to bloom. You can speak your truth, but you can't make someone understand it. You can show love, but you can't make someone feel it. When you finally accept that, your heart becomes light. You stop overthinking and start living, trusting the process. There's a rhythm to life, a divine timing that you can't rush or delay. Sometimes the delay is protection. Sometimes the loss is redirection. Sometimes the silence is preparation. When you learn to trust that rhythm, you no longer panic when things don't go as planned. You start to believe that even detours have purpose. You begin to see that what left was clearing space for what's next. Trust turns pain into patience and waiting into wisdom. Say to yourself, I may not understand this now, but I trust that one day I will. That's the calm of surrender, the freedom in letting go. Letting go is freedom. Freedom from the need to control others. Freedom from the anxiety of perfection. Freedom from fighting life's natural flow. It's the moment you say, I don't need to control everything to be at peace. And that's when peace truly arrives, not because everything is perfect, but because you stop trying to make it perfect. In letting go, you find yourself. In surrendering, you discover strength you never knew you had. And in trusting life, you finally feel light enough to enjoy it. Living in flow. When you stop trying to control life, you start to dance with it. You begin to move with its rhythm, to trust its timing, to accept its seasons. You learn that peace isn't found by holding on tighter. It's found by loosening your grip. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this teaching me? That's the shift from control to wisdom, from fear to faith, from chaos to calm. So take a deep breath. Release your need to know everything. Trust that what's meant for you will find you, effortlessly, naturally, peacefully. Let go, flow, and let life lead you to your unshakable peace. Chapter 7. The Calm Routine Daily Habits for Inner Stillness. Peace isn't something you find once and keep forever. It's something you practice daily, patiently, intentionally. Every day, the world will try to pull you into noise, into stress, comparison, and chaos. But the people who stay calm aren't luckier. They're just more disciplined. They've built a routine of peace, small daily habits that keep their mind clear and their heart steady. You can't wait for calm to appear. You must create it moment by moment, habit by habit. The morning reset. How you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. Most people wake up and instantly reach for their phone, emails, messages, notifications. Before they even stand up, their peace is already gone. But calm people start their day slowly. They don't chase the world, they center themselves first. Try this tomorrow. When you wake up, don't touch your phone. Take 3 deep breaths. Whisper something powerful to yourself like, today, I choose peace over pressure. I will respond with calm, not chaos. I am grounded, strong, and steady. Takes less than a minute, but it shifts your energy for the whole day. Then, stretch, drink water, and step into silence for a moment. Let your first voice of the day be your own, not the noise of the world. The power of morning solitude. Every person needs a pocket of silence each morning. Time where it's just you and your thoughts. You can meditate, pray, journal, or simply sit quietly with your coffee. It's not about religion, it's about reflection. It's about reminding yourself that before you're someone's employee, parent, or friend, you're a human soul that deserves peace. Even 5 minutes of silence each morning is a powerful act of rebellion in a world addicted to noise. In that silence, you start hearing your own voice again. You reconnect with what truly matters. And that clarity becomes your armor for the day. Movement for the mind. Calmness lives in a balanced body. When your body is tense, your mind follows. You don't have to go to the gym or run marathons. Just move, stretch, walk, breathe deeply. Movement releases the energy that stress stores in your body. It's not just physical, it's emotional detox. When you walk in nature, you don't just move your legs, you move your thoughts. You start seeing solutions where you only saw problems. That's because motion opens space for clarity. Remember this truth. The body heals the mind through movement. The mind heals the body through stillness. Both are necessary for balance. The midday pause. No matter how peaceful your morning was, the day will test you. Deadlines, people, problems, pressure. It's easy to lose your calm halfway through the day. That's why you must practice the midday pause. Set a reminder on your phone, once around noon, once in the afternoon. When it goes off, stop for 1 minute. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Ask yourself, how's my energy right now? Am I reacting or responding? What do I need to let go of in this moment? You'll be surprised how quickly 1 mindful minute can reset your whole mood. Calm isn't about avoiding stress. It's about knowing how to return to peace when stress appears. Evening release. When the day ends, most people carry their work, their worries, and their conversations straight into their night. They lie in bed replaying the day like a broken record. But peace requires closure. Before sleeping, take a few minutes to release the day. You can write down 3 things you're grateful for, or simply say to yourself, whatever happened today, I did my best. I release what I can't change. Tomorrow is a new start. Don't go to sleep with a heavy heart. Let your mind rest so your soul can heal overnight. If you can't fall asleep, try slow breathing. Inhale for 4 counts, exhale for 6. That longer exhale tells your body it's safe, and safety is the foundation of peace. Protecting your energy. A calm routine isn't just about what you do. It's also about what you avoid. Protect your peace like it's sacred, because it is. Avoid overexposure to negativity. Too much news drains hope. Too much scrolling breeds comparison. Too much gossip steals focus. You can't live in peace if your mind is constantly being poisoned. Feed it better books, music, nature, meaningful conversations. And remember, not everyone deserves instant access to your energy. Boundaries aren't walls. They're gates that protect your peace. Say no more often. Walk away sooner. Rest without guilt. Because every no to chaos is a yes to calm. The ritual of gratitude. Gratitude is one of the strongest forces for inner stillness. When you focus on what's right, your mind stops obsessing over what's wrong. Make gratitude a ritual, morning or night. Write down 3 simple things each day that made you smile. Kind word. A soft breeze. A moment of laughter. It doesn't have to be big. Peace hides in small things. Over time, gratitude rewires your brain to notice calm instead of chaos. And that's when stillness stops being something you chase. It becomes something you carry. Creating your personal calm routine. Here's a simple framework you can follow. 1. Morning, silence before screens. Affirmations before activity. 2. Midday, 1 pause for breath. 1 moment for awareness. 3. Evening, gratitude and release. Let go before sleep. Do this daily, not perfectly, but consistently. Because peace doesn't come from what you do once. It comes from what you repeat every day. These small habits build emotional muscle. And slowly, without realizing, you'll find yourself responding to life with strength instead of stress. Living with daily stillness. A calm life isn't one without noise. It's one where noise no longer controls you. You'll still have problems. You'll still face storms. But your routine becomes your anchor. When chaos hits, your habits hold you steady. When life gets loud, your peace stays louder. And that's when you'll realize you don't need a perfect life to have a peaceful mind. You just need a consistent practice of calm. So build your calm routine. Live it. Protect it. Because peace isn't a moment you find. It's a lifestyle you create. Chapter 8. The Art of Acceptance, Finding Calm in What You Can't Change. There comes a moment in every person's life when fighting no longer works. You've tried to fix it, force it, or figure it out, but nothing changes. That's when life is whispering a sacred truth. It's time to accept. Acceptance doesn't mean defeat. It means freedom. It means you stop pouring energy into what you can't control and start investing it in what you can. Peace isn't found in perfect circumstances. It's found in perfect acceptance. The battle against reality. Most of our suffering doesn't come from what happens. It comes from our resistance to what happens. We keep saying, "This shouldn't be like this." But the truth is, it is. When you fight reality, you always lose. Reality doesn't bend to your will. It doesn't care about your timetable or your expectations. But when you stop fighting and start accepting, something miraculous happens. The pain softens, your heart opens, and clarity returns. Acceptance isn't giving up. It's saying, "I don't like this, but I will face it as it is, not as I wish it to be." Why acceptance feels so hard? We're raised to believe that strength means control. That to be powerful is to change everything that hurts. But sometimes the strongest thing you can do is let life be what it is. It feels hard because the ego hates losing control. It wants to fix, argue, resist, and rewrite every chapter it didn't approve of. But life doesn't negotiate with ego. It teaches through experience. When you accept, you step out of resistance and into wisdom. You begin to see lessons where you once saw losses. You begin to see growth where you once saw grief. That's when peace begins. The power of "it is what it is." There's a simple phrase that carries deep peace. It is what it is. Those 5 words don't mean you stop caring. They mean you stop suffering over what's beyond your reach. It is what it is turns frustration into focus. Instead of asking, "Why me?" you start asking, "What now?" It shifts your energy from fighting the past to living in the present. Because the past can't be changed, only understood. And understanding brings calm. Accepting people as they are. One of the hardest lessons in life is accepting people for who they truly are, not who you wish they would be. You can't make someone kinder, more mature, or more loving just because you are. You can inspire them, but you can't transform them. People change when they decide to, not when you demand it. When you accept that truth, you stop trying to fix everyone and start protecting your own peace. Acceptance doesn't mean allowing disrespect or staying silent in pain. It means recognizing that some people will never meet you where you are, and that's okay. Your peace no longer depends on their behavior. That's emotional freedom. Accepting the past. The past is heavy only when you keep carrying it. You replay moments, regrets, words, as if they could somehow rewrite themselves. But they won't. They've already served their purpose to shape you. You don't heal by changing the past. You heal by changing your relationship with it. Say to yourself, "I did the best I could with what I knew. They did what they did, and now I choose peace." Every experience taught you something. Every loss showed you your strength. Every mistake was a lesson in disguise. When you accept your past, it stops defining you and starts refining you. The power of "it is what it is." There's a simple phrase that carries deep peace. It is what it is. Those 5 words don't mean you stop caring. They mean you stop suffering over what's beyond your reach. It is what it is turns frustration into focus. Instead of asking, why me? You start asking, what now? It shifts your energy from fighting the past to living in the present. Because the past can't be changed, only understood. And understanding brings calm. Accepting people as they are. One of the hardest lessons in life is accepting people for who they truly are, not who you wish they would be. You can't make someone kinder, more mature, or more loving just because you are. You can inspire them, but you can't transform them. People change when they decide to, not when you demand it. When you accept that truth, you stop trying to fix everyone and start protecting your own peace. Acceptance doesn't mean allowing disrespect or staying silent in pain. It means recognizing that some people will never meet you where you are, and that's okay. Your peace no longer depends on their behavior. That's emotional freedom. Accepting the past. The past is heavy only when you keep carrying it. You replay moments, regrets, words, as if they could somehow rewrite themselves. But they won't. They've already served their purpose to shape you. You don't heal by changing the past. You heal by changing your relationship with it. Say to yourself, I did the best I could with what I knew. They did what they did, and now I choose peace. Every experience taught you something. Every loss showed you your strength. Every mistake was a lesson in disguise. When you accept your past, it stops defining you and starts refining you. From resistance to radiance. When you finally learn the art of acceptance, something shifts deep within you. You stop being dragged by life, you start flowing with it. You realize that peace doesn't come from changing what's outside. It comes from changing how you see it. Acceptance doesn't mean you stop dreaming. It means you stop suffering while you wait. You still have goals, hope, ambition, but now they're grounded in peace, not pressure. You begin to live with a quiet confidence that says, whatever comes, I'll handle it. Whatever leaves, I'll survive it. Whatever happens, I'll stay calm. That's the voice of an unshakable mind. That's the soul of true peace. Final thought. The art of acceptance is the art of peace. Because when you accept, you're no longer running from life, you're walking with it. You're no longer chasing perfection, you're embracing presence. Acceptance turns chaos into calm, pain into purpose, and fear into faith. So the next time life doesn't go as planned, whisper to yourself, it is what it is, and that's okay. And in that moment, you'll feel it. The deep, steady calm that no storm can take away. That's the power of acceptance. That's the beginning of Unshakable Peace. Chapter 9. The Still Mind Mastering Thoughts Before They Master You. Your mind is a beautiful servant, and a terrible master. Can build your peace or it can destroy it. Most people don't live their lives. They live inside their thoughts. They're trapped in endless loops of what-ifs, regrets, and worries that never end. But the truth is simple, your thoughts are not you. They're just passing clouds in the sky of your consciousness. And when you learn to observe them instead of obey them, you reclaim your peace. That's the art of a still mind. That's the power of inner mastery. The storm within. Every day, thousands of thoughts pass through your mind. Fears, memories, opinions, judgments, plans. Some inspire you, others drain you. But the chaos begins when you believe every thought is true. The mind loves drama. It exaggerates danger, repeats pain, and imagines failure. Keeps you busy, anxious, and distracted, as if constant thinking equals control. But in truth, overthinking is a form of fear. It's the mind's way of saying, I don't feel safe unless I predict everything. But peace doesn't come from prediction, it comes from presence. A still mind isn't an empty mind, it's a trained mind. A mind that knows how to pause, observe, and choose. You are not your thoughts. Imagine you're sitting beside a river, and every thought that appears is like a leaf floating by. Some are beautiful, some are painful, but you don't have to jump in the river to chase them. You just watch calmly, silently. That's mindfulness in its purest form. The moment you realize I am the observer, not the thought, you create space between stimulus and reaction. And in that space, peace lives. Thoughts will come and go, that's their nature. But you get to decide which ones stay. You don't have to believe every thought that crosses your mind, especially the ones that speak in fear. The nature of the mind. The mind is like a monkey, always jumping from one branch of thought to another. It wants stimulation, distraction, and certainty. When it's not planning the future, it's regretting the past. When it's not worrying about what could go wrong, it's replaying what already did. That's why so many people feel restless even in quiet rooms, because their noise lives inside them. But here's the secret. The mind calms down not when it gets what it wants, but when you stop feeding it constant attention. Every time you pull your focus back to the present, to your breath, to your body, to what's real right now, you weaken the mind's control over you. Peace doesn't require silence around you. It requires silence within you. The breath, the anchor of calm. Whenever your mind starts spinning, pause and breathe. Your breath is your anchor. It brings you back to now, the only place where peace actually exists. Try this. Inhale deeply for 4 counts. Hold for 2. Exhale slowly for 6. As you exhale, imagine letting go of every unnecessary thought, every fear, every judgment, every what if. Within a few breaths, the storm begins to calm. You realize that no matter how loud your thoughts get, you are still the sky, vast, steady, unshaken. The trap of overthinking. Overthinking is like sitting in a rocking chair. It gives you the feeling of movement but takes you nowhere. The mind thinks it's solving problems, but it's really just recycling them. When you overthink, you turn small issues into giant fears. You analyze conversations, replay mistakes, and imagine futures that may never exist. The cure for overthinking is not more thinking, it's awareness. When you notice the mind spiraling, don't fight it. Just say, "Thank you, mind. I see what you're doing, but I don't need this right now." That simple acknowledgement breaks the cycle. You don't defeat thoughts by force. You dissolve them through understanding. Training the mind. A still mind is not born, it's trained just like a muscle. And every time you bring your focus back to the present, you strengthen it. Start small. When walking, feel your footsteps instead of scrolling your phone. When eating, taste your food fully instead of rushing. When someone speaks, truly listen instead of preparing your reply. These simple acts of awareness quiet the mental noise. They teach your mind that not every moment needs commentary. Some moments just need presence. Over time, the mind starts following your lead instead of dragging you around. That's mastery. Silence as strength. We live in a world that glorifies busyness, where silence is often mistaken for emptiness. But silence isn't empty. It's full of answers. When the mind quiets, your intuition speaks. When thoughts slow, truth emerges. That's why wise people pause before reacting. They listen to the silence first. Silence doesn't mean absence of sound. It means absence of chaos. It's in that silence that you reconnect with your inner voice, the one that whispers peace instead of panic. Detaching from negativity. Not every thought deserves your attention. If a thought brings tension, doubt, or fear, let it pass. Ask yourself, does this thought serve my peace or disturb it? If it disturbs it, release it. You can thank it and let it go. You don't have to fight negativity. Just stop feeding it. Energy flows where attention goes. Focus on gratitude, love, and calm, and your mind begins to reflect the same. Remember, peace doesn't mean you never have negative thoughts. It means they no longer have you. The still mind in action. A still mind doesn't mean a passive life. It means living with clarity and purpose, making choices from calm, not chaos. When your mind is still, you respond instead of react. You see things as they are, not as fear paints them. You speak less, but your words carry more truth. That's what makes peaceful people so powerful. Their strength is silent, but unshakable. Living as the observer. Make it your daily practice to watch your thoughts instead of becoming them. Observe without judgment. Notice without reaction. Some thoughts will come like storms. Loud, dark, and overwhelming. But even storms pass when you stop standing in the rain and start watching from shelter. You are the sky. Your thoughts are the weather. And the sky is never harmed by the storm. That is the essence of a still mind. That is the key to unshakable peace. Final reflection. Your thoughts will never stop, but your attachment to them can. When you learn to master your mind, the world outside loses its power over you. No insult can disturb you. No fear can control you. No chaos can shake you. Because true strength is not found in force. It's found in stillness. So the next time your mind runs wild, take a deep breath and remind yourself, I am not my thoughts. I am the awareness behind them. And in that moment you become free, calm, centered, unshakable. Chapter 10. The Unshakable Spirit, Living Peacefully in a New Peaceful World. The world will never slow down for your peace. It will stay loud, fast, unpredictable, and imperfect. There will always be noise, opinions, injustice, and uncertainty. But peace isn't about waiting for the world to calm down. It's about learning how to stay calm while it storms around you. An unshakable spirit is not one that avoids challenges. It's one that stands firm in the middle of them, soft in heart but strong in soul. That's the ultimate goal of this journey. Not a quiet life, but a quiet mind inside any life. The strength of stillness. There's a quiet kind of power that doesn't shout, doesn't argue, and doesn't need to prove anything. It's the power of inner stillness. The world tells you that strength means domination, winning, and control. But true strength, real strength, is emotional balance. It's the ability to face chaos and stay kind, to face loss and stay grateful, to face criticism and stay centered. You become unshakable not because life stops testing you, but because you stop breaking when it does. Your stillness becomes your shield. Your peace becomes your power. The world will test you. There will be people who misunderstand you. There will be situations that challenge your patience. There will be days when peace feels far away. But every test is an invitation, a chance to practice what you've learned. When someone is rude, it's a chance to respond with grace. When plans fall apart, it's a chance to practice trust. When life feels unfair, it's a chance to deepen acceptance. The world doesn't test you to destroy you. It tests you to reveal you, to show you how far you've come, and how unshakable you've become. Peace in action. Peace isn't a mood. It's a way of moving through the world. It's in your tone when you speak. It's in your patience when you listen. It's in your reaction when things don't go your way. Peaceful spirit doesn't mean you never get angry. It means you know what to do with that anger. Doesn't mean you never feel pain. It means you let pain teach you instead of control you. When you embody peace, you influence everyone around you. Your calm becomes contagious. Your energy becomes healing. Your presence becomes a reminder that stillness is possible. Even here, even now. The art of detachment. To stay peaceful, you must learn the art of detachment. To care deeply, but not cling tightly. Love people, but don't lose yourself in them. Work hard, but don't tie your worth to results. Give your best, but don't attach your peace to the outcome. Detachment isn't coldness, it's clarity. It's knowing that your happiness doesn't depend on everything going your way. It's the freedom to enjoy without fear, to give without expecting, and to live without control. When you detach, you don't stop feeling. You start feeling from a place of strength, not desperation. That's what makes your spirit unshakable. The light within. The world may be chaotic, but within you, there is a still point. A place untouched by fear, failure, or noise. It's the space you touch every time you breathe consciously. Every time you let go. Every time you choose peace instead of panic. That space is your inner light, your soul's calm center. No matter what happens outside, this light stays pure, steady, and strong. And when you live from that light, you don't just survive the world. You start transforming it. Your calmness becomes a ripple. It softens hearts. It brings peace where there was tension. It reminds others that stillness isn't weakness. It's wisdom. Responding to the world differently. Imagine this. You wake up tomorrow and instead of reacting to the world, you respond to it. You don't let headlines steal your hope. You don't let other people's moods control your mind. You don't let fear make your decisions. You stay rooted like a tree in a storm. Winds may blow, but you bend, not break. Rain may fall, but you still stand tall. Because your peace no longer depends on calm weather. It comes from deep roots. That's what it means to live with an unshakable spirit. Service and compassion. The highest form of peace is service, using your calm to help others find theirs. Be kind even when the world isn't. Be patient even when others rush. Be gentle even when life feels hard. Peace grows when it's shared. Every smile, every kind word, every small act of understanding. It all matters. You don't have to fix the world to make it better. You just have to bring peace into the space you occupy. The ripple will do the rest. Living the lesson. Everything you've learned in this journey about acceptance, surrender, stillness, and trust was preparing you for one truth. Peace was never something to find. It was something to remember. It was always inside you, hidden beneath layers of fear, control, and noise. Now that you've seen it, you can't unsee it. Now that you've felt it, you can't lose it, only forget it for a while. And every time life pulls you away, you'll know how to return. Breathe. Pause. Accept. Trust. That's the path back to peace. Every single time. The unshakable spirit. The unshakable spirit doesn't live a perfect life. It lives a peaceful one. It walks through chaos with calm eyes. It speaks truth with kindness. It faces storms with faith. It doesn't need life to be easy. It just needs the heart to stay steady. Because peace is not a destination. It's a direction. And when you walk in that direction every day, nothing and no one can truly disturb you. You become what the world needs most. A calm soul in a noisy world. A light in the dark. A reminder that stillness is strength. That's the unshakable spirit. That's you. Final reflection. Take a deep breath. Feel your heart beating steady, alive, strong. You've walked through chaos, through fear, through doubt, and yet you're still here. That's what peace feels like. Not perfection, not control, just presence. The world may shake, life may change, but you are unshakable, because peace lives here, right where you are, right now. Epilogue. You are the peace. Take a deep breath. Let it remind you that peace is not somewhere far away, it's right here, in this moment. You've walked through every chapter through stillness, surrender, trust, and truth. You've seen how chaos doesn't end, but your reaction to it can transform completely. The world will keep spinning. People will still rush, argue, complain, and chase. But now you know something they don't. That calm is not found in silence. It's found in understanding. You understand that peace isn't a gift from the world. It's a gift to the world, carried by those who choose it within. So go out there, live, love, and serve, but walk slowly, breathe deeply, and remember, every time you choose patience over anger, acceptance over control, and presence over panic, you spread light in a dark world. You are not just part of the noise anymore. You are part of the healing. Let this be your reminder. You are not the storm. You are the sky.
First.
Still, unshakable. Carry that peace wherever you go, and the world will start to feel a little calmer, just because you are in it.